Escape from Tarkov is a game that I've enjoyed for the past couple years, and I've really thought about the fact that there's really nothing else like it on the market. Sure, there's other extraction style shooters that are somewhat similar, and those being something like the Cycle or maybe even kind of Hunt Showdown, but nothing is really that similar to the hardcore extraction experience that Escape from Tarkov is. And I think the intention for Hazard Zone in Battlefield 2042 was to be somewhat similar to Tarkov, but obviously that fell pretty flat on its face eventually. And now we're here with Modern Warfare 2. The rumors are coming in that DMZ is going to be the next Tarkov. And I'm just here to say that Tarkov really needs this competition. I think that if DMZ is good, then it's definitely going to be the next big thing for a lot of different reasons. But one of those is just because Tarkov is in a market where there's just nothing else like it. It's kind of like Siege in that regard, where it was very good. It's a very fresh game. It's a very different take on what we're all sort of used to. But over time, the complacency and just the lack of competition has started to hurt the game. I'm not saying the game is bad. I still enjoy it from time to time, but it definitely feels like we're at a point where we could use some competition in the arena of extraction style shooters and see some of that with Modern Warfare 2, hopefully. And that's not to say that Modern Warfare 2 necessarily needs to be a better game or will be a better game at the end of the day, but the competition and the drive to be the better extraction style shooter is definitely going to give Tarkov that push that it might need to kind of be the better game or strive to be the better game at the very least. Because right now, and this goes for anything, if you're the only thing on the market that does what you're doing, you're not going to feel the need to be better or do things faster. And we've been seeing that with Tarkov. Things just take a very long time to happen. There obviously is a vision behind the game, and the changes that are made are according to that one very specific vision, and that's fine and good. But the rate at which content is put out and the some of the ways that the community is handled is just not something you'd expect from, say, a AAA developer. And not that Battlestate Games is a AAA developer. I'm just saying that we could definitely see a ramp up of how the game is handled after something else is in the market. So with DMZ. And I think when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, the rumor is at least that DMZ is going to come out in beta. And I think that's going to be a really crucial part of how this game plays out, because obviously they're okay with putting a third mode out in a beta format so that they can gather the experience from players or just their feedback in general and see what changes they need to make or how they need to make the game in general. And I think Call of Duty is obviously a very different style of game than Tarkov is. It's very much not hardcore. But if this game aims to be anything like Tarkov, or if it wants to take any of that space or that market, and I think Activision can see how big of a market that is potentially, I think they'll definitely need to try and do a little bit more of the hardcore side of things as far as FPS goes, because you will lose things when you die. You will be faced with a lot of issues with, the computers that you're fighting against, the bots that you're fighting against. In Tarkov, it's scavs. It could be whatever in DMZ. But it definitely needs to have that element that people are seeking after. And I think that once the COD community as a whole tries it out, because everybody's going to try out a new third mode that Call of Duty puts out, that people will definitely check it out. They will definitely give their opinions and stuff, but I think they need to stay very adamant about the fact that it's going to be hardcore and it's not going to be easy just because the community was frustrated, or the vocal community was frustrated with how the game isn't so easy for them. And I think that's the only way that we'll have an actual competitor to something like Tarkov, because it really just is, it just is Tarkov. I think everybody that's put out a video about something DMZ related or Modern Warfare 2 has always compared it to Tarkov. And that's saying something, because there's just nothing else like it. And I really hope, and I just really want some sort of competition in that arena. And Modern Warfare 2 is definitely the game to do it, because as we've seen with just Modern Warfare in general, or Modern Warfare 2019, there's a whole gunsmith system which isn't on the level of Tarkov. Tarkov has a crazy amount of customization, but it's way more than what we had before in Call of Duty. And there's just a lot of potential when it comes to at least the gun customization. I don't want anything like Vanguard where there's just 70 attachments just for the namesake of there's 70 attachments on a gun. But I definitely want an expansion in that regard where you can make guns into different guns and you have all these sorts of different attachments and everything. But they obviously have Battle Royale with Warzone, and so they know how to make a big, large kind of map where there's different objectives and different weapons, and weapon parts is a little different, and the whole quest system and traders and everything is very different in Tarkov. But I'm sure they can figure out a way to make sort of a PvP VE version of the game, because if it's replacing a third mode, which is always pretty much a co-op mode where there's either some sort of story or lore or just some sort of element that's not multiplayer related, then they can for sure add something that's similar to Tarkov. And obviously it's probably not going to be on the scale of Tarkov. If you really get into it, there's a lot of lore behind it. There's a lot of intricacies that I don't expect from Call of Duty, but at the same time, it's going to be probably a lot more polished of an experience than Tarkov ever is or was, or maybe it even ever will be. And I think that's honestly just what the gaming market needs. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, the gaming market, especially for like first person shooters, has just been very dry for the last couple of years. And I think this is kind of the time to capitalize on a new market where extraction shooters might be the next big thing after the whole battle royale craze. And I'm fine with that. I hope that it gives Tarkov the competition it needs. I hope other companies start doing something like this, not the way Hazard Zone has done it, obviously, but something similar to Tarkov with the polish that it needs to actually stand out and not just be some throwaway game mode that we've seen in the past. And I really hope they work on it and really push for this mode to be maybe the next big zombies type mode where people are wanting it every year, or not even every year. They just keep working on it. Maybe this is the next big thing alongside Warzone 2, or this somehow integrates into Warzone 2. But it has a lot of potential. It can do big things. This isn't something I would expect a lot of monetization from for Call of Duty, but I would definitely expect this to be the player retention side of what Activision wants. They keep players in through this game mode, and then obviously when players are playing the game, then they have more time to look at the store and then buy the cosmetics or whatever they want. And I think if done right, this could be a very profitable thing in the long run for both gamers and for Activision. And so I think they should definitely focus on this, and hopefully it is actually a competitor to Tarkov and we get something new in this gaming market, and especially for just Call of Duty in general. I think Warzone is kind of not on a decline, but it's definitely not something that's getting more popular as the days go by. And so this would definitely spice things up. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.